welcome to the Chronicles of an African Diaspora Nurse, the return. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. If you are new here, this is where we get to talk about the exploits being achieved by the African diaspora healthcare professional and educator, not only in their host countries where they live abroad, but also in their countries of origin across Africa. Tonight, I have a guest, and if there's one word I can choose to describe my guest tonight, the word will be zeal. I'm so excited to have a conversation with Nurse Josie. Nurse Josie, welcome to the channel.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Can you just tell us just a little bit about yourself? We know you are Nurse Josie. Tell us your name, your current professional role, and how long you've been a nurse for.
So my full name is Josephine Arthur Amoah. Amoah being my married name. I have been a qualified nurse. I think I'm in my 12th year this year, and my background is mainly in surgical as well as medical nursing. But at the moment, currently, I am an infection prevention and control specialist nurse, working with a local CCG. So it's more of a managerial supportive role. So it's a bit different from bedside nursing, but I enjoy it all the same.
Thank you. So can you tell us a bit about where were you trained? Because, when we hear about nurses from, abroad or Africa, sometimes we think that people have been trained and they've left the services, they've come back here. So can you tell us where were you trained? Were you always a nurse?
So I grew up in Ghana and I migrated to the UK in my mid-teens. So I was trained in the UK. I'm a UK trained nurse. And I trained at a university called, it used to be called Thames Valley University in Berkshire, but it's now been renamed as the University of West London, University of West London. But I trained in the UK, not in Ghana.
Tell us a bit about what you love about being a nurse. What do you love about being a nurse? Because I know from the little chat that I've had with you here and there, I know you love nursing. So tell us about that.
So, I mean, there's so much. I mean, if I were to list it, we'll be here till tomorrow. But two of the things that I love about nursing is the fact that I'm able to make a difference in the lives of the patients and the service users that I look after. So obviously, I've always been a hands-on bedside nurse, and now I'm more in a managerial role. But whatever it is I'm doing, it by extension still provides care to patients because I'm providing that support and advice to hospitals and care homes in terms of infection control. So what I'm advising them is what they're implementing to be able to provide safe, effective care for their patient. So that's a bit about nursing. That's the topmost thing I love about nursing, the fact that I can actually make a positive influence in the lives of patients. And the second one is that nursing is so diverse that, I mean, when you qualify, the world is literally your oyster. Whatever you want to achieve as a nurse, you will be able to achieve, because it's not just the bedside nursing. There are so many different branches, so many different pathways that you can follow if you get fed up with bedside nursing at some point in your life. So there's all these branches that you can specialize in, and that's what I love about nursing. It doesn't get too boring. If you get too bored, you can always move on to somewhere else.
Wow, it's really true, and if you look at the trends of what's happening in nursing, there's more to nursing than bedside nursing.
That's it. So that's what I always say.
And, looking at your experiences and all the places you've worked there and the skills and knowledge you've gained along the way, I'm sure you've worked with many nurses along the way. So I just want to know, who would you describe as your role model? Was there anyone that you looked up to or someone that inspired you along your journey?
So when it comes to role models, obviously throughout my studies as a student nurse and as I've qualified, I've had different role models at different points in that journey. Now, if I go back to when I was a student, I remember two of my mentors that I had. One of them was an English lady and the other was a Filipino man. And they, I mean, I acknowledge them in my book, and we'll come to that. I know we'll come to that a bit later. But they influenced me in such positive ways that I still remember their full names, and I still remember the conversations that I had with them 13, 14 years ago when I was a student. So they made nursing fun. They made me realize that, you know, nursing is one of those jobs for life. That is, you don't just come into nursing because it's an easy job, or because you want to, you want to have a salary every month. You want to receive a salary every month. They made me realize that there's nursing is a profession, it's a career for life, if you wish it so. And they made nursing fun for me. I'll say that because when I was a student, I had so many instances where I was being discriminated against, racially and all that. And they made, I nearly quit at some point in my journey as a nurse, student nurse, and they made me love nursing again. So those are my two role models when it comes to me being a student nurse. And then when I've qualified, I've had a few, but in recent times, the one that I would say is my topmost role model will be Mr. Josiah Okeshola Jackson, whom I know you know. And so he likes to be called JJ, and JJ has such passion for nursing. And he exudes that passion. And whenever you have a conversation with him, I speak to him quite often. And you come away from that conversation and you're thinking, wow, like, I'm living under a rock. I need to get out and do more and influence more and achieve more and be innovative and all that. So as it stands, he is my biggest role model in my career.
Thanks to Josiah. And it really makes you, reflect, what you've gotten from those role models. And it really makes you think, okay, what can I also impart to the next generation? So what would you say has been the greatest achievement in all your nursing career?
So I think I've got 3 achievements
If you were to
in all
pick
my 12
one.
years. I'll pick one. So my biggest one then would be, my biggest achievement would be me writing that guidebook for nurses. I think that kind of sums, it kind of incorporates all the other 2 achievements I was going to talk about. But the biggest one would be me writing that guidebook for nurses, because in there I'm able to share my experience, not just to nurses and student nurses that are in my immediate environs, but also to nurses worldwide. So this book is like one of those no barrier kind of guide that anybody can access and anybody can tap into if and when they need it. So my biggest one is my book, definitely. And it's making great impact as we speak. So I'm very proud of that.
Tell us a bit about your book, now that you're on the book.
So I'll show you the book as well. So this is my book. It's titled How to Be a Great Nurse, 15 Characteristics Needed by the Modern Nurse. So it's a very simple guidebook. It's not an academic textbook. It's a simple kind of guidebook for nurses and nursing students, and for midwives and any other healthcare professionals by extension. And it talks about 15 essential characteristics that if these professionals adopt, they'll be better at their jobs, or they'll be better professionals, and also help them develop both professionally and personally, as well as help them provide better care for their patients. That's the bottom line of the book. So the characteristics in there are listed 1 characteristics per chapter, and each chapter talks about how you can, what the characteristics is, how you can adopt that characteristics, and the do's and don'ts. And also for most of the characteristics, I kind of put in my own experience of how I adopted it and how it helped me, or how when I did not adopt it, something went wrong, and how I had to, rectify that. So it's a bit of my own experience, as well as, telling people, if you do this, it's going to be helpful to you, and this is why, and this is how to, to adopt that characteristics. And there's also a reflective portion in each chapter, where it kind of prompts you to pause and reflect on what you've read, and helps you to reflect on your practice, your current practice, or how you used to practice, and how maybe having adopted these characteristics, how that's changed your practice as a nurse.
Yeah.
Written in very simple English, very simple, easy to read text that I hope everybody will find useful.
Yeah. Thank you so much, for having that forethought and, bringing out such a great resource. And I can testify, I've got my copy, I've got the book, and I will say that it's an easy read that when you pick it, you don't want to put it down. And it's also like a point of reference that you can easily go back to all the time. Wow. So as you know, as we celebrate, the achievements that, African diaspora healthcare professionals are making in their host countries, and looking back at your role, you've gone up to band 7, and I know that the trust that you're working with, you're very vulnerable to them, and you are making great contribution towards services over there. But we want to also talk about Africa.
Yes.
And specifically Ghana and other places. So tell us about what you are giving back to Africa, and in what way?
So I think at the moment I'm giving back to Africa in 3 ways, 3 distinct ways.
Yeah.
So the first one being obviously, the mentorship that I do, with mentorship and coaching that I do with nursing students and nurses in Ghana and in Africa as a whole.
Yeah.
And by extension also, the book helping, writing the book that's going to help them also to be better nurses and to be able to provide better services for their patients. And then the second one is that I am on a board of directors for an NGO, and what we do is we provide sanitary products. We provide malaria prevention training, as well as prevention tools, and all. We do so much more. I can't go into too much details, but I am with an NGO, and we try to help the underprivileged in the community. And it's not just the one community in Ghana. We try to choose different communities, child sponsorship, school, paying their school fees, giving them feeding money, and all those kind of things. We do that. And then we also, I've also got my consulting business. And what I do is that I try to approach with great difficulty. I try to approach Ghana, so healthcare facilities in Ghana, trying to say to them, look, like coming to them from a quality improvement point of view, or service improvement point of view, saying, look, I'm a nurse consultant, I've got this A and B, I've got this experience, I've got this knowledge. I want to come in and see what it is, the kind of service that you're providing for your patients, and to see what we can implement to make the services better. So better experiences for the patients, as well as quality, safe care for the patient. And so that's what I've been doing for the past a year and a half now. But like I said, it's with great difficulty, because I don't know if you know this, but everything in Ghana takes forever. To get to people to the thing is, they'll say, I remember distinctively, if I'm allowed to say this, I approached somebody in the high up there in Ghana who would have been able to get me the links to people that would need my help and my services.
Yeah.
And the response I got was, oh, we already have these services in place, but if you want to give it to us for free, we'll accept it. So my
Wow.
question was, yes, my question was, if you had what I'm offering in place already, why then do you need it, even if it's free?
Yeah.
You understand? And I didn't get any answer from that. So the quality improvement, like that includes infection prevention and control as well.
Yeah.
I find that there's a gap in Ghana or in the healthcare facilities in Ghana. And that's where you have, sometimes you have all this negligence and people dying unnecessarily. So that's what kind of prompted me. And also from my own experience, when I was a patient about more than 10 years ago in Ghana, the kind of experience that I got. So that kind of prompted me to say, look, if it's happening to me, then worse is happening to other people. So why don't I go in and try and make things better? But it looks like every path that I take, I seem to, I'm not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Before we go on more about the challenges, I wanted to find out what inspired you to give back to Ghana, because obviously you are in the UK, you've got your nursing job, good job, you're living comfortably. So what inspired you to give back?
I mean, I'm a Ghanaian, so that I mean, I love being a Ghanaian. I love being a Ghanaian. And although one will say, someone might ask, oh, you don't, how often do you go to Ghana, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. I don't go to Ghana often, but my heart is still in Ghana. And I have this plan to sometime in the near future, go back to Ghana.
Yeah.
You understand? So when I came to the UK, I was quite young. It wasn't my choice. Unlike other people that migrate from Ghana by choice, I was brought up by my parents. You understand? So my heart is still in Ghana. I always have plans to go back and to kind of use the experiences and the knowledge that I've acquired, being in this country for nearly 20 years to better the system, the healthcare system, the nursing studies, the nursing profession, to do something, leave a legacy, make a great impact, not just for selfish reasons, but to make sure that people are not suffering unnecessarily.
Yeah. Wow, what a noble thought. I know that the obstacles are there, but then with perseverance, even if it's one life touched at a time, it's something.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk a bit more about the challenges, because you started talking about that?
So I mean, the challenges in terms of the consulting business, where I'm trying to go in and help the system, is that people, they don't want to pay for the services. Let's put it that way. So if I'm willing to give it for free, then they would happily accept it. But obviously, I'm sure you know this, Rita. It takes, when you go in to go and help a company, it takes a whole lot of time. And if it's a company that have got so many issues, you're creating policies, you are rewriting policies, you're looking at systems, trying to make systems better. It's not an easy task. And therefore, it's something that they need to pay for. You understand? And I find sometimes, and I don't know if it's just me, but I've come to realize that in Ghana, I can only speak for Ghana, when you give free things, people don't appreciate it. They don't appreciate it as they would if they paid for it. And I'll give you an example. When I started the mentorship, I was offering the mentorship for free for Ghanaian nurses and student nurses. And during the mentorship sessions, I'll be setting them like courseworks or homeworks just to see how they're applying themselves. And it got to some point where I was the one chasing them. I was chasing the nurses to complete the task so that I could mark and give them feedback. You understand? But since I started charging for them, I don't chase anybody. Because they know that they've paid for it. Therefore, they need to to sit up and complete things. So that's the kind of challenge that I'm having at the moment in terms of the consulting. I've kind of given up at the moment because it's too tiring. And I think it probably could be because I'm not in Ghana. Maybe if I was in Ghana and I was doing all the footwork, it may be a bit easier.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But because I'm here, I think maybe that's probably why there's that, difficulties.
Yeah.
And also I think one of the things is finding people that you can trust.
Yeah.
So, if I'm not able to be in Ghana and approach people, I need to find people that I can trust who can go and approach people and represent me and my brand and approach people and say, look, Josephine has got this. She's looking to do this, do A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Can we have a meeting with you?
Yeah.
You understand?
I'm really glad that you brought this up, because I've had discussions with other people on this channel, and some of the things that come up are that it's always difficult when you are here and trying to do things, in Ghana or wherever in Africa. So you need to get, trustworthy people or reliable people who share, your vision, the same vision. And I think I had a discussion with somebody who is based in Ghana, and they are credible. So maybe we can, put you in touch or link up and then see what
that would be great.
And this is the whole essence of doing these interviews and talking to different people. So you get to know
networking,
what's happening, and then you network as well. So thank you so much for that. So before we go to the next question, I just wanted you to tell us, what do you see in nursing today, nursing in general today, that inspires you to go on? Because there's so many challenges, whether it's here in the UK or wherever in the West or back in Africa. So generally, what do you see in nursing that inspires you to keep going on?
So I mean, if I can compare nursing now or nursing the last 5 years of nursing to the 10 years or the 5 years prior, I would say that nursing has come a long way. Maybe it's because my eyes are opened now, because I think for a very long time when I qualified, and I'm not alone in this, it was always, you were always encouraged to go to the bedside and stay there and be a bedside nurse, and that's it. There were other avenues, there were other jobs, pathways, but they were not being spoken about. People were not telling us about those. So you meet a nurse that's been a bedside nurse for 20 years without progressing. And that's because most of them is because they don't know how to progress, or they don't know that they can actually progress, or they don't know what they can progress into. I mean, we've got the bit of racial discrimination and all those kind of things, but I think the main issue has always been that people did not know that there were all these other specialties or other bits of part of nursing that they can actually get into. So I think for me, it's nursing. It's much more enjoyable now for me. Because I've kind of found my way. I've found my niche. I found a purpose, let's put it that way. So even though I loved nursing, that's why I go into nursing. Now I've got much more meaning in nursing. I can do more, I can achieve more, I can influence more, I can impart knowledge and my experiences and all that. And it's not just me, I've seen a lot of nurses that are coming out being nurse entrepreneurs. They are setting out on their own, being clinical educators, being nurse authors. I mean, the list is endless. And that's what excites me, because the new generation of nurses are not playing at all. They are just coming in big. And that's how I want the nursing to carry on. Nurses to be innovative, coming up with ideas, coming up with solutions to the problems that we are facing in the nursing profession or the healthcare profession.
Well said. There's more diversity, and there's more. There's more diversity. Who would have thought that a nurse will be running a YouTube channel? Who would have thought?
I know
in those days. But here we are. Here we
We are
are.
here. I
So
mean,
that's, you know,
and that's the beauty of it. That's
and
the beauty of it. It's, I mean, years ago, it was like, oh, you were a nurse, or, you know, nurses don't do this, nurses don't do that. And it's, I don't know why, but I think it's our ancestors. They've kind of, you know, they put that fear in everybody, and it's kind of been
yeah,
passed down, you know, the generations.
yeah.
And we've kind of inherited that fear, saying, oh, I'm a nurse, I cannot be an influencer. Oh, I'm a nurse, I cannot be an entrepreneur.
Thank you so much for that, Nurse Josie. So what advice would you give to someone who is thinking of giving back to Africa, whether he's a healthcare professional or an educator, thinking of giving back to
So
Africa?
yeah, the advice I'll give is that you hear horror stories like mine,
Mhm.
and you hear good stories, but if you've got a desire on your heart to help back home, don't be fazed by anything that you hear. Just kind of, you know, put a plan in place and go forward with it, okay? And make sure you've got the right people. If you're going to need help, you have the right people in place, the right mindset, the people that share the same vision as you. Because sometimes you find that people are just coming in to get money from you because you live abroad.
Mhm.
You understand, and waste your time. So just make sure, follow the desire, put things in place, make sure you've got the right people. Those are the three things that I will say.
Thank you
Our
so
advice, yeah.
much. So in conclusion, what would you be your general message to all the African diaspora healthcare professionals in the diaspora? What would be your last message to them?
So my last message will probably be that you know, there's so much deficiencies or gaps in the healthcare and nursing system in our countries. And it would be great if we would kind of collectively put our heads together and try and do our possible best to kind of bridge those gaps that we identify. And not only is that going to improve patient health and patient outcomes, it's also going to improve the image of nursing in Ghana. So there's so much to do, so much work to do. And I think it's best if we come together in more ways than one to kind of implement these kind of processes to make things better in Africa. And if you want to give, if you want to do anything in Africa, don't be deterred, just go ahead and do it.
All I will say is watch this space for the African diaspora nurse. Thank you
Yes.
so much. It's been lovely talking to you, and then I hope to catch up with you another time. Thank you for your
Same
time.
here. Thank you for having me.